Sometimes when you think that you have reached like the pinnacle of the chaos, you haven't. And that's okay, because the more you go down in the trampoline, the higher you go. The more these patterns shake up, the more can come through. Let me tell you about the past few days. Hello, I'm in Ireland, not from Ireland, well, kind of. My dad's from Ireland. I'm here in Ireland, and it has been such a journey. I'm staying at a family friend's house right now because if you saw my last video, I explained it a little bit, but my van broke down in France. There's a ferry that goes from France to Ireland, and I had to get towed. So there was so much to it. Like, there's a lot of divine guidance in it that made me feel like, okay, this is fine. Like, everything is going to be okay. Let me push that out of the lens. I've been driving this van for, I don't know, like a year now. I don't know how long it's been since we fixed it, since the last breakdown. And it's never broken down anywhere. And then the fact that I break down right at the port, pretty much, to go on the ferry, was a sign that I was meant to be here. And I knew, like, I could intuitively feel that I had one more drive in the car until it broke down. But the cat pee was like so intense. So because Duchess peed in my bed on all my bedding, it's not her fault. She didn't figure out the litter box yet. And so I drove to the laundry. I was like, I have to do it. We just stayed at this beautiful beachfront place. It was so nice. I was like, I have to wash all this stuff before going on the ferry. I want to arrive to Ireland fresh and clean. And I kind of ignored the fact that I thought it was going to break down. I was like, no, it's fine. And then I broke down on the way looking for the laundry. I'm like driving in circles in this parking lot. Can't find this like laundry service. Then I was like, oh, there's a Renault, which is the make of my van. And I was like, maybe this is divine guidance. So I pulled into a spot and was going to go in to ask them just to look at it. But then I broke down in that spot. And so they kind of looked at it. They showed me a little bit that was wrong. Like one of the fluids was empty for the actuator. And so they didn't have the fluid, so then I walked to the nearest place that would sell it, and I found it after looking at 2 different places. So I topped it off, and then they're like, okay, you're good to go, like, because I asked them to help me at least top it off, and then I wasn't. So then I was FaceTiming my friend. He was helping me understand how to bleed it, and then I couldn't drive. So they ordered me a tow truck. So I got a tow truck on the ferry, and then I got a tow truck. My dad sent me, like, things were like, as chaotic as they were, like, people from all over were stepping in and like helping me move through it. And so my dad sent me the next tow truck that I should get in Ireland. I called them. They brought me to a mechanic that they knew. I stayed in the mechanic's parking lot, I think for 4 days. I lived in that parking lot, in the cat pee, and my puppy peed in my bed on the last day. And that's when I was like, just a mess. That's when I lost a little bit of my like strength in this, because the whole time I was like, this is so divine, this is so divine. There was like little signs here and there, like it was in Wexford where I broke down, and my brother just randomly sent me like a caravan that he liked, and he was like, oh, but it's in Wexford. I was like, I'm in Wexford right now, like, out of all places. And then I saw a ladybug on the sidewalk when we were walking, me and my dogs, and I was like, oh, that's really nice, that's a sign, huh? And then I was in the van like a little bit later, and I saw a ladybug on my shoulder. I was like, that's another sign. Like, everything's working out just fine. And so just the fact that I drove all the way, across France, through Italy, across France, broke down exactly at that spot. I've had a lot of little confirmations here and there, like the universe is speaking to me that it's going to be fine. I had these family friends reach out and who say, come here with the van, like, we'll find you a mechanic. The mechanic's looking at it today. There was a mechanic who came last night, came to the house, and they're like listening to me, and because no mechanics really were listening to like what I knew of the problem. So this one's going to take it to a shop 5 minutes away, maybe be able to fix it. And I'm just, I'm in a really comfortable home. There's a shower, my dogs are welcome, my cat is welcome, and everything's perfect. So in the chaos, there's divine order. What I just kept reminding myself in that experience that I'm still working through, but is that there's divine order. Like there is no need to worry or to stress. Like God, source has a plan. There is a plan. There's always a solution to every single problem. And I say this all the time, but I think it's important to remind yourself, because it's been so heavy on my heart this week, is like, I don't need to know the plan. The right people step in at the right time, and this person knows that person. The tow truck knows the mechanic. My dad found the tow truck. The Reno people were able to order me the tow truck. They found the little problem, which I could tell my friend, and then I down the line of problems, I can tell each mechanic, and they kind of piece it together, and it's all happening perfectly. Maybe I was meant to be here in this beautiful home for a little bit and spend time with these family friends of ours who've been really important to us for a long time. And I'm just allowing it to be what it is. As uncomfortable as it is, it's exactly where I'm meant to be. I know that if I wasn't meant to be here, then the van wouldn't have drove me here. It wouldn't have made it all the way to the port. So maybe you just need to let go a little bit and stop trying to force the plan to work and to stop trying to take control. The suffering comes from when you believe that you're separate, and you are only separate from the lack, the worry, the distrust, the shame, the guilt, the fear. You're not separate from source. Source is a part of you. You are a fragment of source. You are source. And at the end of this, you go home. This is an experience. And I kept telling myself that as well. I was like, okay, as tough as this is, I'm going to look back on this and remember the day when I had to crawl through the tunnel of all my belongings in my van, through the cat piss and the dog piss, and just sleep on a bed with no sheets because I'd taken them all off, and just bags and bags and bags of stuff covered in cat pee that I would put outside, and and I didn't have a shower. I couldn't access my water in my van. I couldn't access my food in my van. I would walk to the gas station every day for protein bars and whatever snacks I could get and water. I'm injured, and so I couldn't go very far, but thankfully there was that gas station with the bathroom and everything that I needed. Everything that I needed is always here. And I'll look back on these memories and be like, wow, I was so alive. I became so brave in that. I became so surrendered in that. I became so much more me because of that. So the hard things that you're going through right now, they're meant to be what they are. Each breakdown is a breakthrough. And so as my van is broken down and I'm towing it around the world, literally, I've towed it from Austria to Italy. And I know it sounds crazy. I've towed it, across Ireland. I realized that breakdowns are breakthroughs, and also that I need to get a new van, which I will. I'm gonna fix it and then get rid of it, I think, and then I'll get a new one and probably convert it over time, or have someone help me. And so that's the plan. I trust that it might go differently, but trust the chaos. There's divine order. There's already a solution to every single problem that you're facing, and everything that you're facing right now is disrupting patterns. This past week was such a pattern disruptor that when I arrived to our family farm yesterday, they dropped me off, and I just kind of sat there with the two farm dogs, with my dogs, and I didn't really have anything. I didn't have a car. My phone was kind of dead, almost dead. And I was just sitting there I felt like I went to war, because all my patterns had been so disrupted. I hadn't showered yet. And I was like, whoa, I don't even know how I got here. I was like, why did I leave Italy again? I had to remind myself these things because it was so partially dysregulating, but also just disrupting, and it's not a bad thing. And I was able to come to regulation through my tools of breath work, and I was practicing my breath work, my EFT, through that whole experience. I was, practicing staying centered. I cried when I needed to cry. And to watch myself go through that and to have that ability to cry when I needed to cry was amazing, because before I would just like lose it. Like I would cry and it would turn into a panic attack. Or, you know, I would just be freaking out at every single problem that came up, and none of that was happening. I was just like, okay, problem. God, where's the solution? Problem. Okay. Oh, emotion, release. Like it was like, it was so interesting. And so that actually brings me to 21 Days to Regulate, my program called Healed. And I've been overwhelmed with how many people are signing up, like today and yesterday and already this past month. And so I sent out an email. I'll send it out to the new people that have signed up. We're going to start on July 8th because I want to be in my integrity, I guess, about being centered and regulated, and having had moved through this big like initiation of whatever that was. Like I know I'm meant to be in Ireland, but I think that some energy couldn't come with me. And so here we are, and I'm starting to find that center even more. And I think by the 8th is like when I was guided to reschedule. So we will start then. So if you want to sign up for Healed, 21 Days to Regulate, it's specifically about chronic illness. And so if you have a chronic condition, POTS that came up last night, I had POTS. This woman here who's family friend, she was speaking about one of her patients who has POTS. She's like, whoa, that was so wild to see. It's a crazy condition. If you have POTS, like the way that I just stood up, that would not have gone how it did years and years and years ago. I would almost pass out. I had Lyme, mast cell activation syndrome, SIRS, that's chronic inflammatory response syndrome, chemical sensitivity, and mold, severe mold sensitivity, EMF sensitivity. So if you have lupus, fibromyalgia, like any of these chronic things, then this program can really, really help so much. So go ahead, check that out. Send it to a friend if you know someone that's struggling that has tried everything. I tried IVs, I tried ozone, I tried so many different like PCIV therapy. I tried antibiotics, antifungals, like the whole Western route, all the supplements. I did the liver and gallbladder cleanse. I did the I bought an infrared sauna, Epsom salt bath, coffee enemas every single day, like no gluten, dairy, sugar, soy, nightshades. Like I tried it all. The thing that really changed my life was healing my nervous system, and it continues to change my life. So I invite you to that. I have 21 days to rewire your mind if you want to do this work with neuroplasticity and rewire your mind more for your life rather than for chronic illness. So that's linked below. That was my first ever program. That one has the most ever signed up. I think I don't know, it's all together, like the 21 days to know your divine guidance and 21 days to rewire your mind. I think there's been over 1,000 people in both of those. So amazing. So I invite you to either of those. Those are linked below. And then I also have decondition, which just started yesterday. So you can go ahead and sign up for that as well. And so I'm going to be live for that program. So it's the next 3 months. So you have access to me via email if you have any questions and you want support as you're moving through the chaos, the divine, beautiful chaos, and you want some support with tools that you should use or which meditation you should do or whatever comes up. So it's my honor to be here. It's my honor that God thinks I'm his toughest little warrior. Have you guys seen those memes? I love those memes. So if you're here right now with me, go ahead and comment toughest little warrior and let me know that you're here. And I'm so grateful for you guys. And I will see you in the next video. Let you know what happens with the mechanic. Once I get my tent set up on the farm, then I can get my Starlink out and do some editing and work on my computer and put that vlog together, which was just, it's going to be so wild. I'm excited about it. It really shows the journey. So, love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.